What's up, guys? It's Roughing with the Sappers. Today we're going to be analyzing a game between Roseville Premier, who's in white, and Woodland, who's in black, and Scott here, who's the center, had to clear one of the sidelines as well.
First up, we have a simple trip foul. Ball comes in, black player comes in, just gets him on the ankle, really straightforward. The next moment we'll review was a very important one for this match. It was a call for a pass back to the keeper that happened very fast. Watch it, the ball was kicked long. Defender's going at it, he heads it, then he kind of kicks it in. Keeper comes in and gets it, but I signal right away for a pass back to the keeper. If we watch this in slow motion, you'll see right there the player tries to head it back, but then he sees black's about to get it. So now he's trying to go in, he's trying to dribble the ball, he's trying to get it. He misses it with his right foot, but right there, he touches it with his left foot. He goes towards the keeper, then he tries again to get it with his right foot, and then the keeper comes in and gets the ball with his hands. I called that a pass back on the field. You saw like at least his left foot touched it, but I even also thought I saw his right foot touch. You see me there. I try to explain it as I saw his right foot come in, even turned a little bit sideways. With the benefit of the video, we see that his right foot didn't actually touch it there, but his left foot had been sending it. Aaron, this was on your sideline. What did you see?
So I had a clear line of sight to the player who passed it back, and in real time on the field, it looks like an obvious pass back. The white player made really obvious contact, and it wasn't like he was trying to dribble around. It was a pretty weighted touch to the keeper. So I thought it was a pass back as well. I think the video doesn't do a good job of showing what happened, especially since it's so far away and you don't have a really good angle on the player dribbling. So I think from the video you could see it from either way.
And as I sit and watch this on the replay, I feel like this player is trying to get in the ball. I know I saw in real time, I was 100% sure of this call, but watching on the video, I think if I watch this 100 times, there's a chunk of them I'm going to come away feeling like that was a missed call. So I think we know what we saw on the field, we know what we thought on the field, but I think we should deduct a half a point, and it's a critical point in the game, so we're going to end up adding our Sapper multiplier to that. For our next call, it was a no call on the field. We'll see here, White's kicking it through. Black just kind of comes in, gives him a little bump there, but it's more just a, hey, I'm here kind of bump. Aaron, you're a player at this age group. What do you have to say about that call?
The black player doesn't really put any force into the push. He just lets the other player know that he's there to provide some pressure. So maybe the white player messes up.
Would you expect a referee to ever call it?
No, if a referee called that on me, I'd be pretty mad.
This game ends up being pretty heated by the end of it, and we'll see it as the game progresses. But these are the kind of calls early that the white team's coach, he would get upset about. He wanted those calls, and of course he wanted them only when they happened to his team, not when his team committed them. Our next moment in the game happens right here when the white player comes in and just kind of gets the black player right on the ankle, right there. Trip. It happened right in front of me. It was pretty light, but I chose not to call it, but I think it's a mistake, especially given how this game ended up playing out. Up next, we have another no call on the pitch. Right here, black and white are battling for it. You see black fall down, but this is kind of a classic one where they just both get the ball right there. It's right in front of me. I see it. Make it a no call. Easy. The next one is an easy handball. We'll watch it here. Comes around, bounces up, hits him right in the arm, drops right at his foot. They don't get much easier than that.
The next no call caused a lot of dissension on the field, and it happened right in front of me. Let's see what happened. So for that run, the coach thought that the black player was trying to pull on his player's jersey. But from this, it doesn't look like the white player's run was interrupted, that anything nefarious really happened. And it was right in front of me, so I also saw the entire thing really well. And I also think it's a good no call on the field.
And from my angle on this, I was watching this run. I've got the black player in front of me, so I can't really see what's happening between the black player and the white player because I'm looking right at the black player's back. But I'm also looking to see, does the white player's momentum or stride get thrown off? And throughout this, and even in the video, I never see that get thrown off. But as we talked about earlier, this coach had started to kind of chirp from the sideline. He wanted those really simple ticky-tack fouls that we wouldn't even oftentimes consider a decision. You see me actually stop the game, and I come over and I start telling him, like, coach, like, look, I'm going to call the game here. I'm the referee. I'm going to leave the coaching to you. You leave the refereeing to me. We'll stay out of each other's space. And this is when he makes the comment to me back that, well, then you need to do a better job. So up to that, okay, it's fine to kind of say, hey, you know, where's the foul, whatever. But as soon as you make it personal and say, you need to do a better job. So at this point, I give him his first verbal warning. I tell him, coach, your behavior is irresponsible and I need it to stop. We've also started to get a little chirping from the sideline, so I tell him to also talk to his sideline, keep them under control. Up next, we have a well done challenge by the white team here. Black's got possession. White comes in, challenges for the ball, gets it. Black stumbles over the ball once it's kind of out of where he's expecting it to be. No call there. You see me wave it off. That was an easy one. Up next, we have a critical decision in this match. It was a potential penalty kick inside the box. Let's watch. Right there, Black's got possession. He comes around and then he goes down right there. You can see he's asking for the foul. I don't give it. Let's go back and let's watch it right there. He's running and his foot hangs up on this white player's foot and he goes down. Now, I will say what I thought I saw in real time was I thought I saw his foot kind of slide out from under him. I thought he was he just kind of stumbled. And yes, there might have been a little bit of contact, but I thought most of the fall actually came from that. But Aaron, tell us what that happened right in front of you. Tell us what you saw.
So on the field, I definitely thought it was a penalty, and I definitely should have raised my flag up for this. This was definitely a lot of my fault as well for it not being called.
Now, in our pregame, I always tell my ARs, give me first crack in the box. But if I look at you, I'm asking a question. So here I'm not 100% sure, and you want to see me right there. I point at Aaron. I said, I'm basically asking right here, what did you see? So this is the moment I would have asked for Aaron to normally, if he thought it was a foul, wave your flag, because now I'm asking for help. But looking at this on the video, it appears to be clearly a foul and it should have been a penalty kick. So this will be a deduction and it's a critical deduction. So we'll deduct 2 points for that. Up next, we have a call for a trip. Here, Black's attacking. White comes in, just kind of gets him with his thigh right here. It's a little light, but it throws him off his stride. So he loses a step there. Now, Aaron, that was right in front of you. What did you see?
In real time, it was going by pretty fast, and when it happened, I didn't think it was a foul at first because I couldn't really see that he moved his leg like that. But looking at the video, it's really obvious to see that it was a foul.
Also interesting at this moment is you'll see me blow my whistle. I tell him where to put the ball, but then you see me come over and there's this white player here. I think he's number 7 for you. So here I talk to him, say, hey, look, just stay out of it. I'll take care of the calling. But this becomes important later because this is his first verbal warning. Next, we'll see another one of those difficult decisions where keeper's coming out to get the ball just as the attacker's coming in, and it's very difficult for a referee to try to see those, and it's microseconds if it's a call one way or the other. The ball's coming in here, keeper comes out, White sees he gets it, does a good job of hurdling over it. I'm trying to rush over and get a better angle on it, doing a poor job of it. I probably should have run the other direction to get better separation. Either way, there's no real contact there, and I think it's a good no call. Up next, we have a couple of quick no calls in succession for possible bumps in the back. We see here Black's got the ball. White kind of comes in, bumps him a little bit, and then right here as the ball's coming back, Black comes in and bumps that white player. In my mind, those were kind of letting players know you're there type bumps. They weren't, particularly at this age group where the boys can be a little bit more rough and tumble. That first one's closer to a foul, much harder. Like it's right on the line for me as a foul. But I think for this age group, that's an okay no call. Up next, we have a really straightforward trip. White's coming in, gaining possession of the ball as he goes through, tangles up on the legs. Nothing intentional there, but definitely a foul. We call it. They don't get much easier. Up next, we have a trip where we allowed advantage to play. If I watch this here, right there, he gets clipped by the guy from behind. So he starts to lose his balance, but does a really good job of regaining control. And then he comes up, And I look ahead, I'm about to blow the whistle, but I look ahead and I see, yeah, there's 3 defenders there, but they're also separated out. He's got a perfectly straight view on the goal, and I know he's going to come through with that strike. So he gets a really nice strike on goal there, and I just let the advantage play. So the coming play is a no call, 2 players challenging for a loose ball. They both kind of get there at exactly the same time. From my view, it was all ball. Yes, White fell down. It looked a little bit more dramatic, but neither one of them fouled each other. They just got to the ball at the same time and fell down. In our final decision of the first half, we have a yellow card for a pull. So here, White's trying to get a breakaway. Black just grabs him and pulls him. Let's watch this again. Right there, you see Black's pulling him by the jersey, pulls him back. And there, even White starts to get agitated. He turns around almost like he's looking. This is the same guy I had to give the verbal warning to earlier, but I've already blown the whistle. And I like to keep my yellow cards in the pocket of my shorts for quick access. You can see I'm already getting it out. I'm pulling it up. That calms down the situation. I give him the yellow card. That was our final decision of the first half.
The next decision is going to be an offside call made by yours truly, me. So in the moment of decision, there looks to be 2 offside players, and the one that they pass to is clearly off in an offside position. I'm in a perfect angle to see it. So when the black player passes to the offside person, I immediately pop up my flag once they get the ball, and it is a good decision.
So we have a foul for a dangerous play when a player kicks his foot really high. Right here, Black comes in and his foot is just almost in the face of that white player. He's very lucky that he missed him. Comes right around. I immediately blow the whistle. Bring it back for an indirect free kick for the dangerous play. Up next, we have a no call. Here, White is chasing the ball, and right about here, he looks back. He sees that the black player might have a chance to get to it, so he kind of moves a little bit over, make sure that the black player runs into him instead of getting to the ball. So the decision here is this impeding or is it not? And from my angle, what I see right there is that the ball is still within a playing distance of him. He can reach out and get that ball before he comes over. And so I could potentially call this, but also at this age group, I'm fine letting that play. I think it's an okay if I called it, okay if I didn't. The next decision was for a push in the back on the field. Right here on this throw in, White comes in, kind of almost climbs the back of this black player. Without him there and without him pushing on him, this black player would have already run about another yard or so, kind of chasing this ball. You can see him, he turns around, he's like, where's the foul? And I'm already calling it and signaling directions. In our next moment, at first glance, this looks like a foul for a push, but we no call it on the field. Right there, White's driving through. You see Black fall pretty dramatically, and it kind of looks like the attacker pushes him off. When you watch this in slow motion, you'll see right there, the black player tries to make a slide tackle and get the ball out, and he just kind of misses it. In fact, he gets up and runs. He knows there was no foul, there's nothing there. The next moment was a significant point in this match. Normally for our reviews, we do not review throw-ins, but this one's particularly noteworthy because the outcome of it is 2 yellow cards for dissent against the white team.
In the upcoming play, you see a black player challenging for the ball, and it looks like it bounces off the white player's knee. I say it's White's fault. I got confused on which way they were going because sometimes when you come back onto the second half, you get confused with directions, and that's what happened here.
I see it go out here, and I think it is Black's ball. So you see me, I begin signaling there, but I immediately am looking over here at Aaron. And if we look at him, Aaron's got his flag up in his right hand. This is where he's kind of thinking confused with the first half. So once I see his flag go up there, so I take my hand down, I look at him, and I say, oh, okay, well, I must follow you. You had a better angle on that. So here, Aaron and I are making eye contact, communicating. I'm really asking him which direction to go. And then you see him, he begins to put his flag up the correct way to signal back. So I see that he confirms that. It's back to what I originally thought. I blow the whistle and I give it back. Now at this point, Point becomes really upset, and particularly this player over here, the number 7 who had the verbal warning earlier, he gets really agitated and he starts complaining here. So let's actually listen to what's said.
The parents
So you hear him say, you can't let the parents decide. Well, we weren't letting the parents decide. Aaron and I were communicating. And again, sometimes you get confused. Now, there is a little bit of a lesson learned here that if I had just taken a few seconds and watched the body language of the players, they initially were going to just go the right direction. And maybe this would have all been avoided. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong with the communications Aaron and I had. So this white player, I call him over here and I start giving him the more firm verbal warning. So I don't go immediately to the yellow card. I decide I'm going to give him another verbal warning, but this one's going to be more stern. So I tell him, like, look, you're the player. You're a way better player than I'll ever be, but I'm the referee and I'm going to referee this match. So I'm going to let you play, you let me ref, and let's stay out of each other's way, okay? As he's walking away, he continues to dissent and basically tell me to do my job. So at this point, okay, you've had 2 warnings. You continue to do it. I give you the yellow card. Now, if we look over here, Katie has her flag up. So, Katie, can you explain what you were hearing on that side?
Who was going like, what? It's our ball. Can you believe this guy? He's horrible. He's doing terrible. And so this is like, it's setting a bad example. And he's making it very personal to the actual call. So I'm like popping up my flag to like, yeah, you need to deal with this.
So I run over here immediately. Katie signaled me. I heard him running. And remember, I've already given him the verbal warning. So I go over and I tell him, Coach, your behavior is now irresponsible. And if it continues, you'll be asked to leave. I give him the yellow card. And he says, please explain to me how that can possibly happen. And I turn. I said, okay, I'm happy to explain that AR and I were communicating via nonverbal communication. He initially signaled one direction. I had signaled an opposite direction. I thought he had a better angle on it. I switched and I went with him. And then after further communication, he confirmed to me that it was actually the other direction. And we came back and we agreed. So now we're at this point in this game. I'm trying to explain to him that he's got to get under control and he's setting a bad example and he's already on a caution. As I'm walking away here, I turn around and I go back and I tell him, Coach, I also need you to get your parents under control because they were starting to get out of hand as well. You see him get up and take that. He goes over and he talks to the spectators. I'm assuming that he's telling them, that they need to get under control. But, there I've given the spectators a verbal warning. I've given him the yellow card. I'm making my notes and we're back. So now remember, all of this was over a throw-in. This is why complaining from the sidelines over throw-in is so foolish because at this point they've had those 2 yellow cards and we've had a whole big stoppage in the game. And now you watch the throw-in. Black's going to throw it in. And within literally a second, the ball is turned back over and it's back in White's possession. So like all of that for nothing. Less than 30 seconds after the last call, you see this throw in here, and then Black kicks his foot up very high. This is a dangerous play, so it's an indirect free kick for the white team following that. So I call it. In our next moment, we had a foul on the field for a pull. Right here, White's running, Black comes in behind him, and you see right here, he's pulling his shirt. I've got an angle on that. I see it. He's getting unfair advantage. It didn't necessarily pull him too much off, but I didn't want to let that escalate, particularly since the temperature of this match was starting to go up. So I called that one. So after that, several minutes pass before our next call. There's a straightforward handball right here. Black kicks it up. It happens to hit 28's hand as it's going away. I see it very clearly, and I call it on the pit. In our next moment, there was a no call on the field. Right here, White's got possession of the ball. Black kind of comes in, pushes him a little bit off of it. White retaliates by kind of pulling him a little bit. In the real time, I felt like that was a 50-50 kind of situation, and so I let it play. In looking at it in the video, it looks like Black does initiate that with the initial kind of push. And I think it's a missed call, so we'll deduct one from that. The next moment we'll review is one where there was a player in an offside position that we let play a little bit. Let's watch. All right, about there is the moment of decision. From this angle, we can't really see the line, but Aaron, you were right on the line.
I was right on the line, and the player wasn't offsides by a lot, but he was offsides anyways.
So here, I see the ball go long. I think there's no way he's getting to this, so I just decided to let it go. And then right there at the end, there's some extra bumping that really didn't necessarily have to happen. And so if we replay this, really what I should do, and the lesson for me here, I've got to think about one, this player has influenced the defense because that keeper would never run over there if it wasn't for this offside player running at it. So it's okay for me to call the foul here, I think. And from an advantage perspective, is the defense here better off with a goal kick, or are they better off with the ball way up here? So I really shouldn't have let this play out this far. It's kind of a teaching moment for me. And there's kind of that bump at the end where maybe something could have happened. Ultimately, they don't get in any altercation. Their momentum kind of carries them out, but that's a lesson learned for me on that. Coming up, we've got several things that happen in rapid succession. Here, the ball is thrown in, Black gets tripped, falls down. We call that foul. White kind of tosses the ball away a little bit, not enough for me to call something for delay of game. Black puts the ball in play, and then there's this altercation between a couple of players there. Let's go back here, and I want to show this restart in slow motion. Black puts the ball down. White intentionally gets in his way in order to delay the restart, which is by itself can be a foul. Black, though, when he kicks his foot through, he doesn't actually kick the ball. And his foot comes forward and he makes contact with the white player, who then pushes back at him, and then Black shuts him. So there's a lot of tit for tat here, and the ball hasn't even moved. Now, what I thought I saw in real time was Black actually kicking the ball here, and then White kicking back at him, and then Black kind of retaliating by giving him a little extra bump. So, from my perspective, this was initially entirely initiated by the white player by getting in the way and intentionally delaying that restart. And then I thought Black put it legally in play and White kicked back at him. So I come in, I blow my whistle, I walk past the Black player, move him off to the side, and I yellow card the white player. In retrospect, given the way that it played out, and with the benefit of slow motion here, really, I should have yellow carded both players. The first one should have been a yellow card to the white player for delaying the restart, and the second one should have been a yellow card to the Black player for missing the ball with his foot and then initiating that follow-up action by making contact with the white player in kind of a kicking style. I'll also tell you that I debated real time of possibly giving a yellow card to both players, but in my mind, I was thinking that White might deserve 2 yellow cards here, one for delaying the restart and the second for kicking back at the Black player. And so I was thinking possibly 2 yellow cards to White, which would be a red, and then 1 yellow card to Black for this whole altercation. Ultimately, I decided to make the second 2 yellow cards cancel each other out and give only 1 yellow card to White. So that's why I went with the 1 yellow card. But again, I didn't see that player miss the ball with his foot. The next point in the game was a call for a trip inside of the penalty area that we call for a penalty kick. Right here, Black's attacking, he's going straight to goal, and this white player comes in and just trips him, and he falls right down, right there. I'm there, I see it, I call it, I grant the penalty kick. I think the piece that I missed here is that this player was going straight to goal with possession of the ball, and without that, he's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. In reality, this should be a call for denying an obvious goal scoring opportunity or dogso, in which case the laws of the game say that if you have a dogso inside of the penalty area, you grant the penalty kick and you downgrade it from a red card to a yellow card. So I should have granted a yellow card here. This was that number 7 who had gotten the verbal warning earlier and had gotten the yellow card for dissent. So this would have been his second yellow and a red. And really, in this game, I should have sent him off at this point.
The next call is going to be an offside call made by me. So right here is the moment of decision, and the Black player is passing to number 2 on the side closest to us. So from my angle, it looked like there was head or foot offside, like very, very, very close. And so this is like why being on the line is so important and why having an AR is so important.
Immediately following the restart of the offside decision, we see the ball come in here. White's got it right there. Black kicks up high towards him. Kind of a dangerous play. Could have called it, but you see here, I'm looking at this and I'm seeing this is a big, fast guy. He's got a couple of people he can pass it to. There are some defenders in the way, but I decided to signal advantage and let it play. That advantage doesn't materialize. They close in on him. In retrospect, maybe I could have called that back and granted a free kick from there. By the time I had made that decision, I'd already signaled for advantage and just didn't think he had put it forward. Immediately following that exchange, the ball goes down, keeper's about to get it, but he's starting to kind of slow play this because they're winning and he's looking to run out a little bit of time. And you see this white player begin to run. He starts running in, this black player kind of gets in his way, but White just trucks through him. Let's watch it again. White just like he lowers his shoulder and goes through that guy. And this is a yellow card every day of the week and twice on Sunday because I see that very clearly. I think he's trying to go in and make a statement. You see me run up here, I give him the yellow card. He's like, what? What? How what could I do? Yeah. Yeah, no, that's exactly what you did. So I give him the yellow card. So following the issuance of this card for charging, and then you see the coach over here, he's standing up and walking around, and Katie, you hear him talk. What do you hear him say?
So what I hear him say is that what you're doing is horrible. Do you even have eyes? How can you even be a referee? And so he's setting a really bad example, and he's also making it very personal and public. So I raised my flag. He was already on a warning. I call him over. I'm like, hey, this is what he's saying about you. You might want to warn him because it's loud enough to hear the spectators.
So at this point, you see me, I finished my notes. I see Katie's got her flag up. So I get to Katie. She explains to me that that coach has been continuing to say things, and she tells me that he continues to have that level of dissent that sets a bad example. At this point, I've got a decision to make. Do I go ahead and just give him his second yellow and send him off? I don't really want to do that. I want the game to continue. I want the kids to be able to play. So I come over and I talk to the coach, and I'm like, Coach, look, we've talked about this. I've already given you a warning. I've already given you a yellow card. Like, there's going to be no more grace. I cannot hear anything else from this sideline again. And I need you to get your sideline under control because the parents are starting to say stuff. Now I start to walk away here, and you see me also tell the parents, like, parents, I need you to get under control. And then as I'm walking, you see me stop and turn around. And what happened there is that I heard a couple parents say, Ref, you suck. You're terrible. You're awful. So again, that in itself is it's not threatening. It's not cursing me out, but it also is very clearly personal. It's very clearly dissent, and they've been on multiple warnings. So at this point, I think for game control, I just need to clear this sideline. So I walk back over, blow my whistle, call the coach over, and I tell him, Coach, I want this sideline cleared, and I'm going to give you 2 minutes to clear the entire sideline. Otherwise, you get your second yellow, and I'm going to send you off. He goes and tells the spectators they've got to clear out. They continue to call me bad names all the way off. Unfortunately, you can't hear it on the audio here because, again, it's so far away. But they were pretty belligerent as they left. Now, one interesting thing is this white player, he had apparently his elderly grandparents there. He comes up and he says, Sir, do you mind if my grandparents please stay? They weren't doing anything. And so I say, yeah, yep. Hey, which ones are they? He points them up to him. And I come and I say, you guys, you can stay. Everybody else has to go. As they continue to clear out here, you see a few of them kind of stay here on the sideline, more than just the three that I talked about. There's even this guy kind of sitting here. He's giving me the evil eye as he goes. There's a couple more here. And at this point, I'm kind of tapping my watch to the coach, like, Coach, I gave you 2 minutes. Your sideline's still not clear. So he comes over and he goes ahead and tells them. They end up going ahead and clearing out. But I will say I've reffed hundreds and hundreds of games in my career, and I have never cleared a sideline before. This was the very first time, but really felt like it was necessary in this game to get it under control. In our next call, there was a trip on the defender here by the attacker as we're going down. Black's kind of attacking, but defender wins the ball and Black comes in behind him and clips him on the ankle here. So I call this. What's interesting, this is a heated enough match now that even though I called it and I gave it to him, White gets up and he's still complaining. He's like, when are you going to call this? Well, yeah, I just did. I actually talked to him here. I'm like, what do you want, man? Like, I just called it. Right? I gave you the call. Like, I can't do anything more than call it. Next up, we have a call in the field for a pull right here. They're battling for the ball, and then White just pulls Black backwards there. So you see him there. Black's kind of gets it. White comes in around him, grabs him by the shoulder, and tries to pull him off the ball. I see it clearly. I blow the whistle and call it. In our final call of this match, it ends up being a push where I grant a yellow card. So here, White's coming around. He loses it to Black, and then as he's coming through, you just see him right here. He gives an arm, pushes his player. He's frustrated he lost the ball. As we saw in the last call, White was getting very frustrated. They were pulling. This one, he pushes him, not even trying to play the ball. So kind of for game management and for persistence, I end up going ahead and giving this player a yellow card because I just don't want this to continue to escalate. By itself, that call is maybe not a yellow, but the additions of the calls building up to it. This game goes on for another minute or two, and then it ends. But that was the final call of the match. With that, that was the last call of this match. So let's see how we did. With 42 decisions and 7.5 deductions, that gives us a SAPR score of 82.1%. This is an okay game, not a great game, but all in all, I felt like the game management was okay. We got most of the critical calls right that we needed to. Many of the deductions, had we gotten them right, actually would have gone against the team that gave us the most trouble. So it was maybe, Black missed out on a penalty kick and Black missed out on, white players should have been sent off with a red card per our analysis here. So this really could have gone even worse for the white team, and the white team's the one that complained the most. And I really feel like a lot of that starts with the coach in this case. He's kind of started out setting a bad example, and then the parents really followed suit. And so, unfortunately, in this one, we had to clear the sideline of the parents. That's always unfortunate. Thank you for joining us on this one. I'm Scott.
I'm Aaron.
I'm Katie. And
we'll see you out on the pitch.
Tell me that wasn't a W intro. That was gas.
Good intro.
Gas.
You want to do it again?
No.
That's this.
This white dotted line. That was definitely not.
That was on the field.
So
that is when they played baseball here.
maybe.
That is where they put the.
Okay. Why did you get 2 points for that?
because
One
one,
for the
is for the
call,
foul, one's for the
One's for
yellow
the
card.
cards. Remember our rules?
No.
And look at me! That positioning! That's stunning.
All right, Katie, you're up.
We should point out the amazing positioning right there, because that is double serial.
Next.
You want me on your games? I'll be on your games as an AR. I have an amazing AR. I stay right there. So
And she's the most humble AR. So I think we explained
But
it.
don't call it. Never call it again. That is a way to make people mad for no reason. I need the speed to be as slow as it can be.
Okay.
One more time. Uno más. Wait, hold on. One more time. One more time. I might have just seen something. No, it's not a foul. It's not a foul. Katie has no ball knowledge.
Well, you had to watch it 47 times there.
that is actual bad.
What? I'm literally VAR. Like, this is crazy. That ball knowledge was elite. Elite. You think I'm frame by frame on the field? No. Game's gone soft. Katie, you're the reason the game has gone soft.
Yeah, but it's not a professional.
It's U19! It's
league.
you. Okay.
How about this?
That's why.
How
That's
about
like
this?
more of a reason why you
We'll
want to-
deduct a
No,
half.
no, we are not deducting any points.
Worthy.
The
of-
The
two
black
things
player
not
didn't
by
even kick the
itself.
ball.
White did kick.
The black player didn't even kick
Yes,
the ball.
he did.
No, he did not.
So then why is the ball even moving if Black didn't kick it? Because right there.
Where? You guys both have no ball knowledge.
Well, you didn't see that until we put in ultra slow motion either, bro.
You have already watched this.
They kick
Okay.
back. He shoves, and you're saying he doesn't deserve a yellow card.
All right. Well, I thought he kicked the ball. Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. All right.